Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for watching this video. And before we get into this one, I would like to ask you to also watch the video called White Lies in the Bible, which goes in conjunction with the elements that are in this. So to get a full understanding, I would advise you to watch the video called White Lies in the Bible. So the video about that is speaking about the different parts in the Bible and how the white lies are there in the Bible and what that all means. So watch the video called White Lies in the Bible. It goes in conjunction with this one. So here I'm going to read from Genesis chapter 2. And chapter 2 is speaking about the different parts, or it's speaking about the Sabbath, which is when God entered rest. And when he entered rest, it means that he took interest in rest, into rest. So taking interest in God's creation, everything that was created in the 6 days, is to understand the different things that were in creation. So this is important because this is counting the days. So everything was created with letters, numbers, and words. So understanding let there be light. Understanding that on the first day he did something, on the second day he did something, and all of this was happening through the words. So on the seventh day, that's when he entered rest and took interest in everything that he had created. So this is to understand what is going on there. So there's a video on the different days of creation through numerology that explains the different numbers. And on the seventh day he entered rest. So I'm going to read from chapter 2. And well, chapter 2 speaks of the different lands that were given. So I'm actually going to speak on chapter 3. So chapter 3 verse 16 says, "Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and thy conception. And in sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." So Adam was first, Eve was second. So when they ate the fruit from the tree, that caused death to come into the world. So when the serpent said to Eve in chapter 3, verse 4, it says, "And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die." It was speaking about a truthful lie in that they didn't die as soon as they ate it, but they died as soon as they ate it, in the sense that they were dead because the die is D-I-E, which is D-I, and the E is the O, which is the D-I, which is what the basis of Diablos. The E is like an E like this, but then once you straighten out the E, that is the stroke that is inside, you get the O. So here I'm speaking about the spirit of the word. So I guess we should go through that before I start like dissecting the different letters, because everything is created by letters, numbers, and words. So here I'm speaking about words, but when we speak about the letters, it is speaking about the different individual letters. So the E looks like an actual E, but with the stroke inside. So when you take the stroke outside, it turns into an O. This is the spirit of the words. So we shall not surely die, which they didn't die, but they surely dissected. So they were able to dissect good and evil, because that was the tree that they were eating. So that was the death, that was dissecting their whole lives. So the curse now came because of the woman, all right? So yeah, the curse is very interesting in the sense that this is also how it turned everything around, because the curse is the curvature, which is the curse, right? So this is how everything was taken out of the course, because this is the curse. When you add the O, the O, you have the course. So it was taken out of course, and this is because of the ability to dissect. So it broke the course, broke the circuit. So it's a short circuit. That's why we now have a short life, because this is our charge, our electricity that was broken in half. So in verse 16, "Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow." So this is actually speaking about multiplication. So the woman herself is supposed to multiply when she is giving birth. But then here she's being told that the curse is that when she's multiplying, it shall be multiplied, that there will be multiple pains when she is multiplying. So through the multiplication, there's more multiplication, because you shall be fruitful and multiply. That's the only commandment: be fruitful and multiply. So when she's fruitful, which means that she has more, which means that she's adding or multiplying, there shall be addition of multiplication. So unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply. Great means add. So add, multiply. This is all mathematics. So I will greatly multiply thy sorrow, and this sorrow, and thy conception. Thy conception is multiply. So I will add sorrow to multiplication multiply, right? And in sorrow shall they bring forth. Bring forth, four is the fourth. So bring forth, and this is the word that is actually being used, forth, four. So when you bring forth, which is when you bring more, which is when you bring four. So 4 is the number, and this is in the video of the different days of creation through numerology. Understanding the number 4 is very, very important. So I shall greatly, when you bring forth thy children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and adding desire, so more attraction to thy husband. So this is all physics, biology, mathematics, chemistry. And he shall rule over thee. So the husband is 1, the first man created. The woman is 2. So when they divided, there's now like a rule, like a ruler. This is what we use in school, like this. Exactly, this is a ruler. So when you have a ruler, this makes lines. So when you have 1 and then you have a ruler, right? When you rule, it means that you have a line under it, and then you have 2, and then you have 1/2. This is half. This is dying. This is dissecting. So this life is coming through the death, because this dissection, you shall not surely die, but they did surely die, because they were divided now, because now the husband was ruling over, like 1/2, 1/2, and 2 means multiplication. So this is what was happening. So understanding that the curse is speaking about how we were taken out of course is very important, because the course is just the O. The O is 0, and that's also another number. So the 3 numbers 0, 1, 2, or 0, 1, because 0 is invisible. So 0 was the curse, and was the course, and then we got the curse because we added 1, 2, and our days were now numbered. So we divided this O. However, the O was divided by a serpent, so it was an S. The S. So when you put an S inside of a circle, this is where you get the serpent. So this is speaking of this understanding that the ancient Chinese philosophers had, and I'm speaking about the Tao symbol, which is the yin yang symbol, which is a 0, which has a serpent inside. It has good, it has evil. Inside the good, inside the evil, which is transposition, which is also mathematics, which is also physics, which is also chemistry. So this is actually being divided by the S, which is the serpent. So everything that is happening is taking course, because that is still spinning, just like how the planets are in course. Intercourse, intercourse, enter, rest, interest. So yeah, this is also why we're not supposed to be fornicating, taking interest in the intercourse in the cosmos. This is fornication, because it is interest, like interest which leads to intercourse. This intercourse, because all of the planets are always moving in a certain course. They're intercourse, they're always in intercourse. So when people were worshipping the planets, that's when they were in intercourse with them, because everything starts in the mind. This is how Jesus comes and says, if you have sex in your mind with a person, you've already committed adultery. So that is intercourse with the intercourse, So this is not good. So that's just a side bit. But then here it's speaking about multiplication, in multiplication, and in addition, and in subtraction, which is adding, which is dividing, which is what was happening when our lives were subtracted from eternity in the whole course because of the curse. So when we take the word curse, we have CURSE. right? And then we've already determined that the serpent was speaking about the spirit of the word. So when wisdom comes, it will come through the words. So we're speaking about curse, C-U-R-S-E. So then when we remove the S, or when we place the S, when we remove the S, we're removing the serpent. So before we had the curse, we had a cure. And the cure was the tree that was right next to the tree of good and evil, which was the tree of life, or is the tree of life, not was, because it still is. So that was the cure. So that's what we're supposed to do, and then we'll stay on course. Because even the verses that follow, God goes to the gods and says that, look, man has become just like one of us. So lest he take his course or take his time to go to the tree of life, we shall never be able to stop him, because that will be the infinite loop of evil. So they had to remove us away from the cure, so that we could run our course, because we'd already made that, or they had already made, our ancestors had already made that decision. And this is actually just the trajectory of life that we're on. This is now our course. So when we speak about our course, there's a video, one of my first videos, if not the very first, it speaks about sex is everything. And in that video, I speak about how everything is intercourse, how our bodies are water bodies, and when we are removed from our mother's waters, we get into another ship, which is now a citizenship, which is where we remove our umbilical cords from our navel, we become a navy, and through this we are in a ship, citizenship, relationships, partnerships, companionships, everything is in a ship. And this is how we are actually mating in our matrix right now. So in this matrix, it's a ship, it's a course, and everything is intercourse. So when we're looking at the curse and removing it, removing this curse, removing this, and finding the cure, because a cure is something that restores health. A cure is something that is the solution to a problem. Okay, a cure is all of that. And to cure also means something else. So a cure is to find a solution to a problem, or to restore health. That is a cure. That's the first meaning and definition of the word in this world. And another definition of cure is to salt meat, to add salt to the meat. This is to cure meat by salting it. That's another definition of cure. Now the third definition of cure, which is more important than the previous definitions, is that a cure, to cure is to have spiritual charge. Spiritual charge. Spiritual charge. That is a cure. A cure is a spiritual charge. So to cure is to have attention. That's a spiritual charge. To take heed, to take care. So when you take the O and replace it with an A in cure, you have care, and this is coming from the curse or the course. So when you have cure, and then that A is changed into an A, you have actually, when you take the E, flip it up, and then you place it where it's now a C-A-R-E. This is when you have care. And this is actually what cure literally means, to take care. So to take care in the sense that cure means to curate, which is a person who is a guardian. To have a guardianship of something, like a curator of a museum is taking care, or she's taking care of a museum. All right, and this has been taken to be this actually literally means to take spiritual charge. So a curator or a curate is a person who is in charge of a church. This is spiritual charge, taking spiritual charge. And I think I have plenty of videos that speak about the understanding of what a charge is, which is linked to charity, which is the chapter of love in Corinthians 1:13, which is love is everything. Instead of love, it's actually literally charity. And charity is C-H-A-R, which starts with char, which is the charity, the charge. This is the cure. Love is the cure. There, plain and simple. So love is making love, which is multiplication, which is life, which is everything. be fruitful and multiply. That is our cure, and that is everything. However, so when we say a curate is a person who is in charge of a church, like a vicar and all of that. But those churches are called parishes, okay? So this curate is a person who has spiritual charge or spiritual care, taking care of the people in the parish. So to understand this curse and to remove this curse is to understand that to have cure is to find a solution. And then for our problems, we've been taken out of course. So we have to find the solution to be back on course in order for us to return to the tree of life, because it was given to a certain angel in order for that to be our cure. And to cure is to take care of something or to guard. And then God actually said to an angel, guard this tree, guard this cure, curate the cure. So it's being curated because that is the cure. And when you go into the wisdom of Solomon, you understand that through wisdom we understand all things. And through wisdom, Solomon was able to understand the virtues of trees and roots. And to understand wisdom is to understand the virtues of the family tree, which is the cure. So this is the cure of every curse. Understand the family tree. And from where I'm from, I understand through so many different metaphysical things that the people who are able to curse are also able to cure, and they're only able to do that because of the power of the family tree, which is the tree of life, which is the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is just the tree, which is the root, which is the route, which is the way out. So to understand that, you also need to understand the family tree. This is why I'm saying that you should go and see the video called The White Lies in the Bible. It's very important and key in understanding so many different things that might be troubling you. So to curate is to take care of something. And now, to curate is also to have accuracy or accuracy. Okay, accuracy is a place, a parish that is being curated. Now, when we say parish, we're saying Parish. When we remove the H, we have Paris. Okay. Keep that in mind. Paris, parish. So then when we have the word parish, actually what we have is the basis of burning, which is death, which is everything that is linked to that. Parch, which means dry. And the tree should never be dry. So our religion is not always the best cure for every curse. This is very key. So this is to understand that through wisdom we're supposed to understand life and find our cure, go back on course, remove the curse. So this is to also understand that through the curacy, all right, the curacy, which is from the curator, which is the cure, which is the core, we have to think with accuracy. All right, we have to think with accuracy. This is why my people perish from a lack of knowledge. So this is why we have to think accurately, act accurately, be accurate, and be on course. This is very important. Accurate thought, especially in the age of AI, where things want to think for us, devices want to think for us, and will be thinking for us. So you have to think accurately on your own so that you can be on your own course, or else you'll be taken into another algorithm and go out of course. This is what's happening, the serpent. And so now, so to actually grasp this understanding is to understand the definition of cure is to find health or to restore your health. And health is H-E-A-L-T-H, okay? And then the H is the breath of life. And then this H, in our understanding, because we're speaking about the spirit of the words, everything is created by letters, numbers, and words. So now when we take health, we understand that from health, this is where we get wealth. All right, wealth. So to find health or restore health, this is also to restore wealth. Okay, health is wealth. Healthy, wealthy, wise. Okay, because the wisdom of the wise are crowned by their wealth. And this is also to understand that all of the evil in the world comes through the love of money. However, when we read the book of Genesis in chapter 2, this is the one that speaks of the different lands. We understand that every type of land is attached to a certain type of ideal or idea. And Genesis 2, chapter 11 says, the name of the first river is Pison, that is which compasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. So there's a certain gold that is good, and this is the gene or the genesis or the genetic in a certain land. So this is to understand that not all gold is bad, okay? But then here we're gonna speak about gold some other time, because I think it deserves a bigger time for us to really dissect that. But just understand that this is the fact, that there's a certain land with gold that is good, and this is the genetic of this world. This is the genesis of everything. So even though the root of all evil is gold, there is a place where you can find gold that is good. That is good, and remove an O, you have God. Okay. And then when you add an L to gold, you have when you add an L to God, you have gold. Okay. So this is so interesting when we speak about gold in particular. So when we have this cure, which is accurate, like every cure is supposed to be accurate. Like if you have a certain illness, you're supposed to get the accurate cure, or else that could actually be detrimental to your health. So you're supposed to treat it accurately, and this is accurate thought, so that you're never out of course. So when we have the perish, which is to parch, which is to die, which is to dry, we understand that this is also a perish is a curacy, which has a curator, and a curacy is something that is with spiritual charge, and the charge is a currency. So this is why we're speaking about the curse, or the cure of the curse, to be linked to health and wealth, which is the currency is a current, which is a charge, electrical charge, and the charge is where we get the word like char, which is to burn, which is also what is affecting everyone. Like in this world, for you to be cured of anything, you probably do need money, or you need some certain knowledge. Knowledge is now. Now is current. Current is a currency, which is the charge. And this is the cure, knowledge, which is you're paid for what you know. You earn because you learn, because you hear in your heart. Your heart is your ear. Your heart has a current and a currency. This is why you need health, but you also need wealth, because the heart has bread, the breath. So this is why Jesus asked, give us our daily bread, our daily breath in our heart. This is the EA in the bread, the EA in the heart. This is in both. So when we go to Paris, we're now looking at the whole world that we live in, and we understand that through all of the different mechanisms that people have done, like from the French Revolution, this has been taking charge of the whole world. But then when we now look at the curacy, or the accuracy, or the currency, which is the curacy, which is the charge, the people in spiritual charge, here we actually do find out that the curacy, or the currencies, the current, the charge, the power in the whole world is actually in the papacy, the paper money, because we live in a fiat money currency, and this is where it's all at. So to understand this is very key. So I don't want to overload you with information, but yeah, so this is what it is, that the currency, the curacy is the papacy. The papacy is the parish. The parish means the parish, and this is to speak about the French king. So when we look at the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, it has 4 different things in it, but then the toes, the 10 toes at the bottom, are the divided kingdoms, which represent Europe. And then when you look at Europe, which is the last kingdom, which is in the last days, this is why we're speaking about these things in these days in this way. But yeah, when we look at the 10 toes, these are the 10 divided kingdoms, and this is Europe. And then when you look at Europe, you have to see that it was all founded on Paris, or the parish, or the curacy. This is where all the museums are. They're being curated. And what is being curated? This is why you have to look at white lies in the Bible, and you discover that what's being curated are all of these African artifacts, or among other things. That's not all that they are, but all of the indigenous artifacts. This is what it is. The autochthon is what's being curated, and this is the charge, this is the knowledge, and this is what they have as their currency, as their curacy, and this is accurate. So when you go look at it, that is the core of our humanity in this world. And to understand that health is wealth, wealth is the cure, and to have the cure is to have the core is the cord, and this gets us on course.